Yet another multiple choice topic from the first 6 questions, and yes, we're still on the first 6 questions because they have several different topics that could come, and they're only choosing 6 from number theory and computation. This is our next very popular question, and this is a question in particular I wanted students to see because of the variation it's going to have in it, which is why it makes it difficult to just learn off answers. But it's good to see the variation that it have as well. So 60% of a number is 90. What is the number? This is different from saying find 60% of 90. Completely different question. If 60% of some number, that's the number I want to figure out, is 90, that means 60% is equal to 90, not multiply by 90. So 60% of something is 90, and I want the whole number, which is 100%. So I need to get 100%, but just like before I could get 100%, I need to find for 1. I don't have to find for 1, I could find for another number, but 1 is usually what you use. So 1 will be, take the 90. If 60 things cost $90, one of them will be 90 over 60. I could work it out now or later, but you see the zeros cancel off and so on. 9 into 6. Sorry, 3 into 9, 3, 3 into 6, 2. So 1% is really 3 over 2, and I want 100%, which is the entire number. I want the whole number. So now I multiply 100 by 3 over 2, 2 into 100, 50 by 3, 150. And that will be your answer for that one. Look at this next question though. If 60% of a number is 90, it starts off just like that question. What is 4/5 of the number? So same thing like I said last video. CXC knows people have the paper. So this is something new they start adding in. What is 4/5 of the number? So they don't want 100% of the number. They don't want the whole number. They want 4/5 of the number. So I still need to do this. And when I get the 150, they don't want the whole number. They want 4/5 of that number. So I find 4/5 of the 150. 5 into 5, 1. 5 into 15, 3. And I add the 0. 4 by 30, 120. So you see the variation in the question they're going to have. And watch the next two they have. If 30% of a number is 45, what is the number? This is this same exact question, by the way, because you realize if I cut 60 in half, I get 30. If I cut 90 in half, I'm going to get 45. This is the exact same question. The answer is going to be the exact same as well when you do your working, and you can double check that yourself. And then they have the same version with the 4/5, which is that same one here. And again, the working going to be the same, and the answer is still going to be 120. So that's why I want you to see this question in particular. So be careful for those of you all who just feel you could just learn off answers. You have to make sure that is for the correct question as well. This is another one they have, slightly older though, and I want to show you a different way to do it. 12.5% of a number is 40, and I want the sum of money. So I have 12.5% is equal to 40, and I want 100%. So now I always have to find for 1%, which is what I was telling you. If I notice that, wait, now 12.5%, if I was to double 12.5%, 12.5% is really 1/8, by the way. If I was to double 12.5%, 12 over 12 is 24, half and half is 1. So if I was to double 12.5%, I'm going to get 25%. But because I double this side, whatever you do on one side, I have to double the next. So here going to be 40 by 2, 80. So 25% is 80, and I want 100%. So what I have to do to 25 to jump to 100? I multiply 25 by 4, I get 100. So whatever you do to one side, you do to the next. And I'm going to get my 320. That's just a different way to do it. And you could have do that here with this one. I didn't have to go to 1%. I could have find for 10%. Meaning I would just divide this by 6. 90 divided by 6 is 15. And then 15 by 10, because 10 by 10 is 100. 15 by 10, 150. Again, it have different ways to do it once you end up at the correct answer. So now don't confuse these types of questions with this one, which is similar to the one from January 2020, number 6, with the 60% of girls in the class. So our test was marked out of 80, and our boy scored 60% of the marks on the test. So he scored 60% of 80. So I find 60% of 80, and these zeros pair off, 6 8s, 48. So don't confuse these types of questions, which these are almost all that they have on this type, with this type of question. Alright, so finally we are nearing the end of my review on computation. So what we're going to look at next is just some odds and ends here. So what is the value? Common questions that common students careless mistakes with it. What is the value of the digit 2 in the number 48.621? So on the left hand side of the decimal point, we have ones or units, then we have tens, and if we had the next number, that would be 148, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and it goes on. On this side, however, we could only have one unit, so 1. So here we'll start off back at 1. Here start off with tenths, meaning 1 over 10, T-E-N-T-H-S. Then this could be hundreds, meaning 1 over 100. Then thousands and so on. So this 2 here is not 2 tenths because this start off at tenths already. This is only have 1 ones, and then we have tens on either side, tens and tens, hundreds and hundreds with the THS at the end, and so on. So this is really 2 over 100. So when you see it, for some reason students, oh, that's the second number, and they put tens. So it's 2 over 100. This one here is where you have to learn to do calculations without your calculator. So 0.01 squared means 0.01 times 0.01. So when you're multiplying numbers, just multiply the numbers as normal. 1 times 1, 1. But how much decimal places they have in total I need to put back. So he has 1, 2 decimal places, and he has 1, 2 decimal places. So in total they have 4. So right now the decimal point at the back, because I multiplied 2 whole numbers together, so I need to put back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I jump 4 spaces. And you can double check it on your calculator while you have it. So 0.01 squared is really 0.0001. So I have 2 divided by 0.0001. When I divide numbers, I only have one rule when I have numbers with decimals. The number that I'm dividing by has to be a whole number. So to make this a whole number, I need to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to the right to make that a whole number. But in maths, it's all about fairness. So because I move him 4 places to the right to make him a whole number, his decimal point at the end, he has to move 4 places to the right as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. The decimal point going to end up here, and all these spaces going to get filled with zeros. So I'm really going to have 20,000 divided by 1. Anything divided by 1 going to remain the same. And if you're not sure, you double check this on your calculator before you go into the exam. And obviously they have more than one type of these questions, and you can double check it yourself. I need to make this a whole number, so he needs to move 2 spaces to the right. So now I have 1, but because I move him 2 spaces to the right, he has to move 2 spaces to the right. So I end up with 1, 1, 1, and I fill in this last space with 0. Anything divided by 1 going to be the exact same thing. Standard form also could come. So in standard form is a specific way, and you can see it for all the questions because they normally give you the answers here. I need a number between 1 and 10. So this number that I put in first must fit between 1 and 10. I'm always going to multiply by 10 to some power. That's why all of them looking like that, by the way. So to get my number between 1 and 10, there are different ways you could do it. It's always be your first non-zero. The decimal point always goes after the first non-zero number. So the first non-zero number going to be here, and you double check it. So $3.46, if I read it in terms of money, 3.4 higher than 1, less than 10. If I put it here, that would be 30 cents, which is less than $1. If I put it 34.6, if I put the point here, it would be more than 10. So 3.46, and that's not the issue because you realize all of them have that part correct. What they really want is this number that's going inside here. So I put the point here, but the point was supposed to be here. So I put the point here, I changed the question. So this telling me how much spaces I need to move it to get it back to the original spot, which is here. So in the number line, if I go in this way on the number line, we always count it as positive, but if I go in this way, count it as negative. So I start off here and I need to jump 2 numbers, meaning I go in this direction, because I'm starting off here and I'm going backwards 2 spaces. Until I know I'm going backwards 2 spaces, it's going to be minus 2. And again, they have different variations of it. Same idea here. Number between 1 and 10, 3.076 times 10. I go in this way now because I put the point here, and if you don't see a point, the point understood at the end. 1, 2, 3 digits. So I'm moving 3 digits this way. So that number going to be 3, and my answer going to be D in this one. All of these are past paper questions that I pulled out, by the way. Last 2 with approximations. They like to approximate a lot and they want an exact value, but I do have my calculator, because if I had my calculator, this would have worked out real easy, but I don't. So I have to find a way to do it to get my calculator. I just need to get average, because you realize all the numbers are the same. It's just I just need to know where the decimal point going to line up. So I just need to have an idea where it's going to be. So there are different ways you could do it. So I would have rounded it off. So I would have said 37 close to 40. 1.8 close to 2, because you realize all my answer is going to be something with 2 in it, so I want to get 2 on the top. So 40 divided by 2, because this is roughly 40, this is roughly 2, or could I say half of 36 is 18, so again it would be close to 2. So I'm going to end up with 40 divided by 2, 20 over 1,000, approximately, and then the 0 is going to cancel off, so I'm going to really end up with 2 over 100. Now, even though this is not the correct answer, my answer have to be close to this answer, and 2 over 100 written as a decimal would be 2 cents, and 2 cents will be 0.02. So I'm looking for one that close to 0.02, and I only have one that close to 0.02. And if you're doubting yourself, double check these questions on your calculator now, so you'll know that the procedure works when the time for the exam comes. Last one. So we have different ways to do this as well, and most of them, because they have several questions like this. 235 times 48.7, and this is the answer I get. I'm moving around the points, same digits if you notice. I just want to see where the point going to end up now. So one way to do it is take a look at the decimal, and most of the questions the decimal close to half, right? Because they have more than one question like this. So approximately half of $23 will be about $11. So the only one that close to $11 is A, because this is $111, which is too much. $1,000, $11,000, so which is too much. If I want to do it a more mathematical way, you realize the point went back one space here. So we already had to carry back the point one space, because it had no space there. So he went back one space, and he went back from here 2 spaces. So in total, my answer went back 3 spaces, 2 for this number and 1 for here. So that means this number had to go back 3 spaces as well, 1, 2, 3, and it's still going to end up looking like that one without your calculator. So these are some of the main questions on the first 6 questions on the paper, which is computation and number theory. Up next, set notation.